Welcome back, guys, to the third installment of From 10K to 10 Mil. This journey has been downright exhilarating for me so far. And what's crazy is how I feel about everything. Because as of right now, I'm at negative 23,000. So I made a $10,000 investment into the coach. And that's been going fantastic. I just had my third call with her, and now we're getting really deep into strategy. Right? The first couple sessions was really about vision, which is what I talk about with all you guys, right? It's, what is the clarity of the destination that we're getting to, and we're going to work backwards from that. What are some of the, who is it that you are today that needs to be different from who this future person is, right? Who is the person, who is the man that creates these desired outcomes? Again, a lot of the coaching that I do with you guys already. What are the limiting beliefs that I have that I need to face and overcome and replace with stronger beliefs that are going to serve me in those moments? That's what we spent the first couple of weeks doing. And now that I'm in a really good place mentally, I have clarity on what it is that I want and who I need to be. Now we're talking strategy. Now it's how do we create the following? How do we create the programs? How do we create the events? How do we offer such an extraordinary value and experience for people that it just makes it an easy decision for them to participate in the things that I'll be doing? And this is the work, right? Now we're talking about the behaviors. Now we're talking about the actions. So that's the first investment, right? Let's talk a little bit more about that and what's been happening for me. So as I did this work, this is all creative thought, right? It's not black and white answers. It's create your vision, use your imagination. And I spent a few hours just really outlining what this stuff is. And what it is with imagination is it creates momentum. In the beginning, it felt very cold and specific, and not a lot of detail, not a lot of passion in it. But the more I spent diving into that imagination, the more ideas started to come up. And it's like, oh, that would be cool. Or I could do this. Like, oh, that would be an awesome experience. And then I started to have some fun, right? I started to create. And again, you think of what it's like for a child when they're using their imagination and they're running off in their own world that they're creating in their mind, and they're having this extraordinary experience. And that's what it was like, creating what these desired outcomes would be, stepping into this ideal version of myself, what that would feel like. I really loved what I was creating from there, and I started to get excited about it. And now that I'm excited about it, when we start talking about the strategy, this is when things start to get hard. This is where most people start to fall off. And part of the feelings that I'm feeling right now is slightly overwhelmed, right? Because there are things I'm gonna have to do differently. There are things I'm gonna have to learn. There are things that I'm gonna have to create time for. And it's just kind of restructuring my routine, restructuring the way that I do things. But one of my skill sets is being able to do that, because I have trained that and practiced that so many times in so many different ways over the last 10 years of my life that I understand what that process is. I'm very in tune with what I'm feeling. I understand that the way I'm feeling is part of the process, and that as I start to get into a rhythm with things, all those feelings will go away, and more importantly, they'll be replaced with feelings of confidence and certainty. But what we've discussed are strategies that I'm not aware of. So it's new information, which is cool, because part of me was nervous. I was just going to be told things I already know, and it's, not get excited about it. But no, she gave me some really cool perspectives and insights that I can do. So I'm excited to do these things because I haven't done it before. I'm like, that's a great idea. I could see why that would work. I didn't know that was a way to do those things, but I see the potential in that. And then by tracking my numbers each week, which I've already been doing, I'm going to be able to see which different actions are creating the growth that I'm looking for, and then which ones aren't. And then as I figure out which ones are the most effective, those are the ones that I'm going to really dial into. Right? I'm going to dive really deep into those different avenues, because obviously anything that we do, we want it to be the most effective and the most efficient. So I'm really excited about the things that I have coming up. For those of you guys that are following me on social media, you're going to see some changes coming, right? Here I am talking about it. Now you're going to see me actually going out there and doing it. One example is, if you're not part of my private Facebook group yet, come join it. Mind Body Performance with Coach Arvin. That's where I'll be diving much deeper into the insights. That's when you guys are going to get some actual coaching, right? When I do on the Facebook, on my personal page and on Instagram, that's more of an overview of things, right? Kind of the superficial layers of thought. When we get into the coaching element, that's when we're going to dive much deeper into it. Let's give you some strategic steps that you can follow and start implementing into your life today, so that we can start getting some rhythm in with these practices. So if you're not a part of that group, after you get done watching this video, or pause it right now, hop in and join that group, because that's the avenue in which I'm going to be focusing the majority of my growth on. And then on Instagram, that's the other avenue. You're going to see me providing just different varieties of content, so that when you guys look at my Instagram page, it's very clear the kind of coach I am and just the impact and impression I'm wanting to have on myself and on the world. And I want that to be very clear with how my Instagram is portrayed. Now, something else that happened. And sometimes you just got to trust things to happen as they're supposed to happen, right? So last Thursday, I was supposed to have my call with my coach, and we got on the call, and her voice was completely shot, right? So it was like, let's just do this call tomorrow. And then she lives out on the East Coast, so we scheduled it for 1 p.m. and we both thought it was 1 p.m. our time. So again, we had a clash in time there, so we weren't able to make the call. We just had it just now today. It's Tuesday. But instead, she even said, she's like, I'm just going to chalk this up as if we just weren't meant to have this call right now. And at first I was a little frustrated, because I was so eager to get those next steps, right? I'm like, but I'm ready. I want to go. I'm ready to do it. I want to do it now. So instead, I went to breakfast and I listened to a podcast. And this wouldn't have happened had we had our call. And so I'm listening to this podcast, and the podcast starts talking about a mastermind that he's putting together for entrepreneurs that grows between 50 to 250K a year. Now, a mastermind is one of my ideal products that I want to deliver down the road. But I've never been a part of a mastermind before. So when that concept came to me, I got really excited about it. Now, most masterminds that I've come across start at 20,000 up to 100,000 to be a part of. And that's just, at this point, it really is just outside my price bracket. I don't have that level of income to put into it without going into a very scary area of debt. And I don't want to do that at this point. But his mastermind was 6,000. Now, if you asked me to spend $6,000 on something, I would have said no right away. I don't have it. I can't afford it. But when this came my way, it felt right. It felt like this is exactly what I need in this moment of my life. Because not only am I going to get a tremendous amount of value from a couple running a mastermind group that's playing at a much higher level than I am and is emulating what it is I'm wanting to create, I'm also going to be in a small group of 40 other people that are all like-minded individuals that are all committed to the growth of their business. Do you know how much power comes out of an environment like that, out of a group like that? That's exactly what I'm looking for, is to expand my influence. And sometimes you got to pay for those kind of things. And again, it's not that I'm spending $6,000, it's that I'm investing the $6,000 into myself. And I'm really excited about it. I've already had our kickoff call. There's some incredible people in it. There's some people playing at a high level. I've already coached somebody in the group, which felt incredible. And I'm just really excited about how this is all going to play out. And then my third investment was going to Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins. And I'm going to Australia for that. And I'm going to take a 2-week vacation, because I haven't done that in over 10 years. I've just been so wrapped up in the gym and building that business that I just never really took that much time off for myself. And the longest vacation I've taken is, I think, 1 week. And I've done that twice in 9 years. So I'm just going to take a week off, a vacation, to go visit Australia and just have a great time. And I'm going to go to an event that I know is just going to be absolutely life-changing for me. And that's Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins. And I'm super stoked to do it. But again, that one cost me just right now $6,500 just for the expenses, not to count what it's going to cost when I'm actually there in Australia. So I'm looking at 10, 6, I'm $22,500 in the hole right now from when I've started this, right? So people look at like, all right, I'm ready to make money. Well, maybe you need to spend some money before you can start making it. Maybe, right? For me, it is. I'm looking at the investments that I need to do in order to create that growth for me. And kind of a similar concept I talk with weight, right? When people are drastically under eating and they want to lose weight, maybe you need to gain a little bit of weight before your body will become efficient and you can start losing it. So I'm running that same mindset with what's going on here with my money. But I tell you, if you would have told me that I would have had to spend this money before I really bought into what I was doing, before I had that certainty that this is what I was going to do, I would have been completely overwhelmed by it. I would have been terrified by it. I would have said, there's no way I can do that. I can't afford that. I can't go into that kind of debt. I can't spend that kind of money. I need to hang on to what I already have, because what I already have is already running out. And I got to hang on to it. And that's a scarcity mindset, right? That's the exact mindset that just continues to lead to that fear and that scarcity in your life. And what's crazy is I've spent more money in the last month, 22.5, with at least another, I would say, $2,000 to $3,000 that's going to be in the expenses of the Australia trip. So let's just call it 25,000. I'm 25,000 in the hole right now, and I haven't done anything that's created more money for me yet. But what I do have is an abundant mindset. And that's what I've really been training, and I've talked about it before. Like, I'm really struggling with the scarcity mindset, and it's starting to release, and it's incredible. Like, I believe it, like I believe that I believe that this is all going to work out for me. I believe that I'm going to achieve this. I'm feeling myself shifting into the man that I'm supposed to be. I feel my thoughts shifting onto the things that I'm doing and not focusing on what I don't have and what's not working. Because as long as I continue doing things, I'm going to become more efficient and become better at it. The better I become at it, the more momentum I'm going to create. So it's just, I think that's been, up to this point, the coolest part of this experience is how at ease I feel with everything, how just confident I feel with everything, how excited I'm feeling with everything. And it's just a matter of what's next. I just know that no matter what gets thrown at me, like, I'm going to figure this shit out. I'm going to do what's ever expected of me. I'm going to continue facing some fear. And I'm just going to continue stepping into this ideal version of myself and continue creating this ideal life that I'm after. So stay tuned, guys. Now we're getting into the work piece, right? Now we're getting into all right, I gotta start making some changes. I got to start doing things differently. I got to start, prioritizing things. I got to start making sacrifices and time in one area so I can find time for this kind of stuff. This is where most people fail. This is where I'm going to thrive. Stay tuned next week, guys. I got my next call Thursday, so it's about 9 days from now. I'll tune back in for this next episode of 10K to 10 mil.